Straight ahead on CTV News tonight, honoring war heroes in Laurel.
A traveling memorial honoring some of America's fallen heroes makes its way to Laurel today. I'm Katara Jones. I have everything you need to know coming up on CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. Gold Star families from across Maryland made their way to the American Legion Post 60 in Laurel today. That's where we find CTV's Katara Jones at a traveling memorial that's honoring fallen heroes.
This Gold Star tribute wall has more than 7,000 names of some of America's fallen heroes. One of those names is Jesse Milton III.
This is a Gold Star tribute wall. It is the only traveling memorial of its kind in the country that honors the fallen during the Gulf, Iraq, and Afghanistan. It was American Legion Post 60 that invited us to bring it up here. They're the ones that facilitated the whole event, and we're really proud to be part of this.
Important for me to come here to really pay tribute to all the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our country, and to carry on the legacy of my son's service, to make sure people don't forget. You know, my son's name, sadly, is on that wall, but I'm proud for he served our country with honor and distinction.
There are 7,200 names covering the Gulf, Iraq, and Afghanistan. To them, it's everything. To them is the fact that we remember their children. It's a constant reminder that they live with on a daily basis.
My heart is hurting, will always hurt, but I have more pride than I do pain, and I'm going to carry on Jesse's legacy of service. He said he wanted to go change the world, make a difference, and do something that would bring God glory.
Officials say this memorial will be here in Laurel until Sunday, September 25th. Then it will be making its way to Pensacola, Florida. Katara Jones, CTV News.
And for more information on the traveling memorial, visit the website that is on your screen. Well, the U.S. Marshal Service has been enlisted in the search for a murder suspect. The feds are working with Prince George's police to locate and arrest this man, 33-year-old Stephon Jones of the District of Columbia. He's accused of shooting 20-year-old Darian Herring of Hyattsville at the Mall of Prince George's last month. Crime Solvers is offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and indictment. The U.S. Marshals is offering an additional $15,000. Investigators warn that Jones should be considered armed and dangerous and say he may have changed his hairstyle. Anyone with information on Jones is asked to call police or Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. Well, update on the story we brought you earlier this week. Police have released the name of the gunman who was killed during a home invasion in Hyattsville. He's been identified as 19-year-old Damani Sanders of Alexandria, Virginia. He was found dead inside a house on Tuesday on the 5600 block of 30th Avenue. When police arrived at the house, they saw a car leaving the area. Inside was 23-year-old Giovanni Hales, who had been shot and later died. Hales lived in the house. Investigators say it does not appear to be a random incident. We hear the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 991 new cases. The positivity rate in Prince George's is up slightly to 9.46%. 4 Marylanders have died of COVID over the past 24 hours, and 473 people are hospitalized. That's 28 more than yesterday. Well, the former mayor of Capitol Heights says COVID has taken a toll on his health. Sean Malden caught the virus back in December, but it wasn't until he tested negative for the virus that strange things started to happen to his body. Malden says he's vegan and extremely health conscious, so he didn't think he needed to take the vaccine.
I got COVID and it blew my kidneys out. So immediately I had, I got really sick. And I started swelling. When I got to the emergency room, they immediately ran tests and they said that your creatinine is at 14. Now, anyone who knows anything about creatinine, they know that for men, it's not supposed to be above 1.2. Mine was at 14. And so they said, oh my God, we need you to start dialysis right away.
Second thoughts about not getting that vaccine?
You know, the hindsight is 2020. I would definitely have gotten vaccinated, because I mean, we know that it's not going to necessarily stop people from getting COVID, because people have gotten COVID even though they've been vaccinated. But I think the impact of COVID, they're saying it can be much less. And so, yeah, get vaccinated, get boosted, you know, and take care of yourself.
Walden remains in stage 5 kidney failure and is currently on the National Kidney Registry for an organ transplant. Well, police are investigating a triple shooting in Hillcrest Heights that happened last night at around 6 o'clock in front of a Popeyes on the 2300 block of Iverson Street. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. 2 were taken to a local hospital. If you have any information on the shooting, you're asked to call 1-866-411-TIPS. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. More news back in just a bit.
We grew up together. We believed in something bigger than ourselves. The military took me to one side of the world and her to the other. And even though she was always the strong one, when we caught up years later, I found out she had fallen on some hard times. It was her call to make, but doing it together made all the difference.
For veterans who are homeless or on the brink of homelessness, call 877-424-3838.
Welcome back. We now know the name of the woman who died in a hit-and-run crash last weekend. The victim is 56-year-old Brenda Hackett from D.C. Police were called to the area of Indian Head Highway and Salisbury Drive on September 18th at around 2:40 in the afternoon. When they arrived, they found Hackett on the ground. Investigators say the driver of an SUV struck Hackett, who was in the crosswalk at the time, and left the scene. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact police. Well, the Prince George's County Council is set to host a meeting on the new Police Accountability Board. It's set for Tuesday, September 27th. Council will hear from candidates who are being considered to serve on the board. The council will appoint 5 members to the board, to the 11-member board. The other 6, including the chair, will be appointed by county executive. Again, the meeting takes place September 27th, 2 p.m. A final list of all members should be completed by late October. A technical glitch is keeping some families unable to access funds from Maryland's college savings program. Administrators of the Prepaid College Trust acknowledge the problem. They say during a switch over to a new vendor, an audit raised concerns about whether interest earnings were being calculated correctly. That led to the interest portion of the accounts being frozen. They also accused the trust and its governing board of stonewalling and of violating the state's open meetings law. The issue comes at a time when students and parents need to pay for the fall semesters. Well, the Prince George's County Public School System is partnering with the nation's largest telehealth provider for children. Hazel Health will offer students free access to a variety of telehealth services in an effort to close healthcare gaps and make care more accessible. The program is expected to launch in middle schools and academies on October 10th, then in high schools on October 24th. Mental health services will be available through the partnership. Former President Donald Trump has invited Maryland gubernatorial hopeful Dan Cox to Mar-a-Lago. Trump plans to hold a fundraiser for the fellow Republican who trails Democrat Wes Moore in both fundraising and in polls. Trump's endorsement lifted Cox to a primary victory. Supporters are being asked to dole out nearly $1,800 per person. Those who want a picture with Trump and Cox, that star snapshot will reportedly cost $25,000. So far, Moore has outraised Cox 3-1. Well, for the first time since the pandemic, a popular family event returns to Bladensburg Waterfront Park. Celebrate Africa is back, marking the 5th anniversary of the award-winning festival, which was held virtually during the COVID. The event honors the artistic and cultural contributions of African immigrants to Prince George's County.
We have the usual stellar lineup of talent. We've got artists such as Tulumide, which brings her version of Sue Your Soul. She calls it American R&B with African rhythms and Yoruba language. Sometimes she mixes the two. We've got music going back as far as maybe 1,000 years with the West of Gay Trio. We've got the Performing Arts Center for African Cultures with their drummers and dancers. The Chop Teeth Afro Funk Big Band is always a favorite, playing the music of Fela and other Afro pop artists.
Celebrate Africa is a free event set for this Sunday from 12 to 6. Bladensburg Park, located at 4601 Annapolis Road in Bladensburg. We'll have more news in just a bit and sports, so stay with us.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Hey there, sports fans. Happy Friday. The Maryland Terps football team travels to Ann Arbor to play the Wolverines this weekend. Now, both teams have perfect records so far, and University of Michigan is currently ranked number 4 in the nation. Last week, the Wolverines dominated UConn 59-0, and as I reported, the Terps beat SMU 34-27. Terps wide receiver Rakim Garrett explains what the biggest challenge will be this weekend against the ranked Wolverines.
They play together as a team. They play fast. It's no wonder why they're number 3 in the country as a team. You have to have good players over there, starting with that. They just play fast. They bring a challenge with their speed, but I think I like our guys and what we do and what we have to do. Like, we beat Penn State 2 years ago, and it doesn't really mean anything now because you have to do it year in and year out. So, I mean, it will mean a lot, but it's just another game. Not to downplay Michigan, but it's another game. It's a conference game.
The Terps play tomorrow at noon. Now, fall is here, which means the majority of college sports teams are getting ready to compete. DMV native and former collegiate athlete Brianna DeBow authored a book titled ABCs of College Athletics to be used as a guide to navigate the sometimes troubling waters of playing college sports. I had the chance to sit down with Brianna today, and she explained to me why this book is so necessary for athletes and their support systems.
There was no practical guide out there for college athletes, and so many horror stories of student athletes getting to college saying, wait, where's the coach that recruited me? What happened? How do I navigate this space? My grades are dropping. I don't feel like I'm a well-rounded student, and I felt like this book was timely. When I did the research, there was not a lot out there. Like, it was people talking about themselves and their biographical stuff, like, oh, this was my experience when I played college hockey or whatever, or this is athletes and money or athletes and mental health, but there was no overview of everything. And so when I was in grad school, I was doing a bunch of research on this stuff, but as a fellow nerd, you know, not a lot of people want to read academic journals and stuff. So I was like, okay, how can I transform this into something that's practical, easy to read, short, but information packed? And having played basketball for 17 years of my life, I was like, okay, well, obviously I have the experience to do it. And, you know, why not do it now? It's so much going on in the NCAA with NIL, with mental health, with all this stuff. And, you know, parents, coaches, student athletes, obviously, they need a lot more guidance along the way, and this can help them.
I'll have more on Brianna and her book next week, but in the meantime, her amazing book is available for purchase on Amazon, and that is your CTV Sports Update.
As I understand it, though, you have a copy of the book already.
I do. I was given it today during my interview, and I'm so excited to read it.
Looking forward to reading it. All
Me
right.
too.
That's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott for Laurenti Bolton and the others here. Good night.